Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Talk with Antonio. I am your host, Antonio. Today is November 26, 2025, Thanksgiving week. So I want to wish you all happy Thanksgiving. And to all of you who are traveling, especially by airplane or road or whatever, please be safe. Especially with these fucking cockroaches, little blood-sucking leeches called ICE are lurking in the airports, kidnapping people like the fucking scumbags that they are. And speaking of scumbags, ladies and gentlemen, this is what happened last week. As you all know, okay, before I start about this, does anyone remember what happened earlier this year with, I think it was like middle of this year in regards to that immigration raid that happened in Pico Rivera when they arrested this janitor, and then also the federal aid, those quote unquote federal agents arrested this 20-year-old young man who was a Walmart worker, and they took him down. They just treated him like he was like a piece of garbage, you know, and that. Every time I see that video, it really enrages me because they think just because they're doing that, they're kidnapping people. They think they're above the law. You know, it just really fucking pisses me off every time I see ICE. You know, I've seen those scumbags are lurking even here in the San Fernando Valley. They're around, especially at Home Depot. They're trying to kidnap and snatch the day laborers. They're over there especially in Burbank, around on Olive Avenue by Frank's restaurant. And it's just like right now, ladies and gentlemen, I know we're living in very scary times, especially with these. They're everywhere right now. They're also detaining people. They're just being it for the people who are immigrants who have like the green cards, trying to renew their whatever documents, and those scumbags just kidnap them there. They just grab them by the arm and just take them. They chase them and then they just tackle them down. They shackle them like they're like worse than criminals. And you know, it's funny that the majority of the people who have the ICE agents, especially like Christy Noem, ICE Barbie, that's what they call them. They say they're going after criminals and all that stuff. In reality, the majority of the people they have detained have no criminal records. The only quote-unquote crime in this country is for them not having documentation in this country. But that for that lady and for that little pathetic little Jew named Stephen Miller, that's a crime. They're breaking the law. But yet they say they're going to go after the hardened criminals. In reality, they're only going after hardworking people doing jobs that they would never do. You know, and the thing is, with ICE and all that stuff, what they're doing right now, especially with these ridiculous raids, and I've seen them in action, I'm not going to lie to you. But in this one in particular, I'm going to be talking about right now, is this fucking little cockroach named Isiah Hodgson. And he was also responsible for doing the raids at Pico Rivera when they went after that janitor, and also when they tackled down this 20-year-old Walmart worker. You know what sucks is that it says here, like, this is an article that came out November 19th. This is from the Worker News. The article says lighter than a feather, and also because it talks about how this dude, Isiah Hodgson, died of a drug overdose last week. Anyway, the article talks about this. Isiah Hodgson, the Border Patrol agent infamous for participating in the violent arrest of a Walmart worker in LA County, died in August. Hodgson's lawyer announced to a California court this month that the death was due to a drug overdose, which doesn't fucking surprise me at all. It says here that Hodgson was filmed taking part of an immigration raid in June against a foreign-born janitor at a Walmart in Pico Rivera, and Hodgson was the only agent in the assault on the workers who was not wearing a face mask. In contrast to the cowardly attack, Adrian Martinez, a worker at the Walmart, stood up for his coworker, and in spite of being a domestic-born worker, was overpowered by the mob of federal agents and thrown in the back of a truck and abducted. It says here that U.S. Attorney Bill Esley took to publicly blaming Martinez for, quote, punching a border patrol in the face in an attempt to intimidate workers from standing together against the terror inflicted upon foreign-born workers. Martinez was held up for 3 days in the dungeon of a downtown Los Angeles detention facility. Even after his bond was paid, the worker was charged with conspiracy to impede or injure a federal agent. Martinez was subsequently fired by Walmart. Fuck you, Walmart, by the way. Which is the largest single exploiter of workers in the United States, demonstrating the spirit of the working class. Martinez expressed that he has no regrets about speaking up for his fellow workers while decrying the conditions of workers held by ICE in shackles which he witnessed during his detention. Later in July, it says here that the unfolding story of Agent Isiah Hodgson displays a contrasting character, one of cowardice and backwardness, showing the type of person attracted to the agencies of repression to begin with. Hodgson was arrested in Long Beach, not for his violent assault on workers, but after drunkenly stumbling into the women's bathroom at a restaurant while carrying a gun, harassing a woman for a date after the police were called. Hodgson attempted to hide his weapon. His status as an agent was not apparent to the police, who proceeded to treat him as anyone else of Latin descent and brutally tase him. Hodgson claimed to have been harassed by the masses of involvement in a terror campaign of the old state and pleaded not guilty to the charges of an assaulting officer, resisting arrest, and carrying a concealed firearm in public, lasting only 1 month on bond before overdosing in his parents' California home, an end fitting to a servant of a reaction. Adrian Martinez still battles charges in federal court, which he faces prison time for defending the rights of his fellow workers, which in my opinion, that's fucking bullshit, you know? Just seeing the side, you know what's the sad part? Look, the whole I've seen ICE agents. Of course, they're gonna be wearing masks because they know they are on the wrong side of history. They fucking know that, and you know, like they're all covering their faces. But you like some of them, you can tell like of what race they are. Obviously, they have they're black agents, they're Asian agents. But the sad part about these pathetic little cockroaches who are doing the kidnappings, the majority of them are all of Latino, Hispanic descent. And you know what's the sad part about that? The biggest enemy, and I'm sorry, I'm not being racist, I'm just speaking the reality of it. The biggest enemy of a Latino is another Latino himself. It's another person of Latino descent. And that is so sad, you know. I've seen other people of other races who are very united. And I've seen that. But look, I'm not saying all of them, like, but especially like the people who work for ICE are all like they're all evil people. They're all cowards. And you know, it's funny how the same people who are the right there say, "Oh, I'm not going to mask up," are now wearing masks. You know, because they know that they're going to get, if they expose his face, they're going to get fucking doxxed. And I will talk about this right now. And this pathetic little cockroach, Isiah Hodgson, you can tell like there's pictures of him everywhere. And you can tell like he's like self-loathing. He's like enjoying like this power. You can tell like he's enjoying hurting people. And they just, like I said, all these quote-unquote federal agents, they just don't give a fuck. They're acting all superior right now, especially because right now they're being protected by this pathetic little orange orangutan named Donald Trump. They know that you know, it's funny how there's no money in this country for especially when the government was shut down. There was no money for SNAP or EBT for like people who live on food stamps, but yet there's money for funding ICE. And you know, the thing is, what I was talking to my mom and dad about this. The thing is about ICE is that I get a lot. Look, everyone has email. People are looking for jobs right now. I mean, I'm still looking for a job. I mean, I'm still work with my delivery driving, but I do. I am still looking for a job. And you know what's funny? That I get emails, and I always check them on my spam mail, and there's always says CBP is hiring. And they're everywhere right now, especially at the job fairs. They're hiring the Border Patrol, ICE, and all that stuff. And you know, the thing is, what attracts people, since people are like so desperate for looking for a job, that they're willing to pay $50,000 in bonuses. I mean, to a lot of people, that's tempting, you know. If they want to do it, hey, that's their choice, you know. They're gonna if they chose that route, they have crossed the point of no return. You know? And every time I always say delete, I delete that shit over and over. I'm not lying. I delete that shit, but every time they're always sending that shit, I'm not interested. I would rather be hunting for working a regular job than to be selling out to these fucking scumbags of ICE. That's blood money right there. And you know, like, ever since this orange orangutan got elected again, he's on a power trip right now. He pardoned the January 6th terrorists, and like right now, he's funding the biggest terrorist group in this country right now, which is ICE. And every time I see videos of how they treat people, how they just grab them and they just treat them like criminals. Before they do all this stuff, it really breaks my heart, you know. It really hurts me watching that, like, being helpless because nobody can do anything. They're evil people. They don't give a fuck. And I've seen videos how people stand up to them. They don't like when I say, "What's your name?" What the fuck do you care? There was another video, I believe it was in New Jersey. They were going on a door, knocking on people, and you could see it was a mix of black and Latino, Hispanic ICE agents, and they were trying to break in, and the lady, who was obviously black, was going off on those motherfuckers, and I applaud her. I was actually cheering for her, and she was calling them sellouts, and you could see they were walking away like the fucking dickless cowards that they are. I applaud that young lady for going off on those guys, you know. But this is all gonna end, and you know, it's funny that all this stuff that we're seeing with ICE right now, it just, like I said, it really breaks my heart. I don't like seeing how they treat people like if they were just because of their status in this country. You know, it really breaks my heart. And I've seen, like, people who just go off on these guys, but they know they can't do anything. You know, and it sucks. It really sucks. You know, but there's this, like, but going back to this guy, Isiah Hodgson, and also, you know how I was mentioning that he got arrested at a bathroom in Long Beach, and then he came out and he actually hurt an officer. He was resisting arrest, and you know how he likes to treat people. Like, look at him. And actually, I'm sorry. This is the video that I finally found here on YouTube. This is courtesy of the Long Beach Post. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, let me see your hands! Hands up! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on your stomach!
Confirm your location.
Hey, I'm gonna go hands on, right?
No. Sidewalk. That's door.
Don't reach for anything!
Back door.
On the ground! Are you guys stupid? Get on the ground! I'm BT! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground!
And he was resisting right there.
No. Stop resisting! Stop resisting!
The video we just took in is from the Long Beach Post, showcasing Border Patrol agent Isiah Hodgson's arrest.
Hey, I'm gonna go hands on, right?
Yep. South, sidewalk.
Hey, don't reach for anything!
he was carrying a loaded weapon.
Sir, get on the ground. Are you guys stupid? Get on the ground. I'm being All right, well, get on the ground. Get on the ground. Get on the ground now, dude. Get in the bike. Get in the bike. Dude, are you guys stupid? Get on the ground.
He was calling the Long Beach cops stupid.
All right, get on the ground. Get on the ground now, dude. I got him. I got him like my head. Get on the ground. Stop resisting. Stop resisting. Hey. Stop resisting. Stop resisting.
He's gonna get tased. Watch. Listen to this.
Stop fighting us, dude. Stop fighting us. Sidewalk. You might have put a gun down. Hey. Check the sidewalk. You might have put it down. Hey, he's hitting me. I'm gonna tase him. Tase him. Hey, don't you get up. Get on the ground. Are you stupid? Are you stupid?
He would get physical with the officers during his arrest.
They just got the weapon right now.
Yeah, it's loaded.
Clear code 4, other units can slow down. 6 Heavy code 4, all units on route to the yard house, you can slow down. AR code 4.
One in the chamber, loaded. I'll take pictures of this too. Dude, that was close. He had it in his hand too when we walked up.
Many feet away from the scene, they discovered his loaded handgun.
What border?
And you know it's funny how they arrested him right now. They're questioning him. Though he acts all fucking arrogant. Like he refuses to ask questions. He was like, you can tell like he was just fucking drunk right there. And oh my god, like just listen.
Border Patrol area, do you work out of Hemet?
He's been telling us that he's a firefighter.
What's that?
He's been telling us he's a firefighter.
I mean, when you Google him, he comes up as Border Patrol, so it's kind of weird, huh?
Sir, I would like not to be cameraed, and I would like to speak
Okay,
to...
well,
No, shut the fuck up.
I don't want to be body cameraed, and I would like to speak to my representative at the meeting. Thank you very much.
And the reality is, there's Public Records Acts and stuff, so this is going to be public. You work for Border Patrol. You guys are under the microscope right now, right? So your
Yeah.
cooperation's key here, right?
10-4.
We're trying to have you do a breathalyzer, trying to
Do me
give you
a
a
favor.
phone call.
Do me a favor. Give me a representative at the moment here right now. Thank you, sir.
Well, you're not going to...
They use your fucking arrogant motherfucker. He was still defiant right there. Even like the cops were saying, you gotta answer. Oh, I'm not gonna answer that. Like he refused to answer questions. He was just being all smug and arrogant, like the pathetic shit that he was.
Give him at the moment, but you are going to get phone calls when you get down there. I'm trying to give you one right now, but you're being uncooperative.
No, you're not. You're being an instigator.
No, it's been an instigator. Shut the fuck up.
Okay. Well, they're finishing up your paperwork.
I would love to have...
Isaiah, they're finishing up your paperwork for the medical clearance, and then we're going to get you down to our jail and we're going to get you booked in, okay?
For sure.
All right.
And this is how he answered questions from officers initially.
Is this supervisor or something? Do you want me to have a sergeant call him right now?
All right, this part right here, this is where he's being questioned by the cops, and but this is the censored version. I found the uncensored version right now. Give me 1 second. And this is right here where he kind of breaks down with the cop right here. Like he's acting like the little bitch that he is. This is the uncensored version, by the way.
Gosh damn it.
You made a mistake.
No, I made more than fucking one mistake, man. And everyone just fucking hates me here.
Isaiah, look at me, brother.
Dude, you know what the word doxed is?
You made a
You
mistake.
know what doxed is?
Doxed?
I made a mistake, dude. I just fucking... No, I'm just trying to be fucking extra careful.
I know.
Do you know how many fucking people are after over here in Los Angeles?
I know.
It doesn't mean no, you don't know. You know what the word
Say it
doxed
again.
is? D-O-X-X-E-D,
No, what is
dude.
that?
Doxed.
No, what is that?
If you ever have your fucking personal information pumped up online and on the fucking news,
No. I'm sorry to hear that.
have you ever had your fucking parents' information? Have you ever had fucking people stand up at your parents' house because you're You're over here in Los Angeles doing everything, dude?
Listen to him right there. He's like saying they hate us. I'm sorry to hear that. The cop is like, there's even more.
It's rather alarming that he does not understand or have the idea of why he, as a Border Patrol agent, would have many people who dislike him. How did this all begin? At a local yard house. Hodgson was there, having drinks. The staff would have to cut him off. Footage would show Hodgson, after being asked to leave by security, wandering around with his gun and holster in his hand. This also came after one woman was washing her hands in the restroom, women's restroom, and discovered Hodgson in there with his gun and ammunition clip in the sink. He called her sweetie and asked if she would go out with him. Now, if this name sounds familiar...
Hey, that's for work, bro. That's for work. Hey, what the don't touch me there? What's the song? You're the one pushing me.
It's because it's that guy. The Yard House incident, where he was seen on video resisting arrest, came on July the 7th. 4 days later, he appeared in an LA courtroom per KTLA. He faced 4 felony and 3 misdemeanor charges. The Long Beach Post would print. The DA's announcement of the charges drew swift and sweeping condemnation aimed not just at Hodgson, but the government he worked for. For someone on duty or off to come to our community and terrorize a local business is unacceptable, said the mayor of Long Beach, Rex Richardson. He would go on to say, and I quote, "This is indicative of a broader culture that needs to be addressed, that our community should be respected and also protected." From the Independent, Hodgson faced 7 years in prison, and had he been convicted of those offenses, he may have served some of that time. However, a month later, he passed away from, according to many reports and also his lawyer, a drug overdose. Those charges are now expected to be dismissed. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT.
And then last week they released the autopsy reports that he died of a drug overdose. That's what he's talking about. So this was 7 days ago, and I will be very, very frank about this. I want to feel bad for the guy, because I do, because he got arrested. He knows that he's going to get exposed, he's going to get doxxed, but at the same time, I can't, because he's complaining that how people in Los Angeles hate him and all that stuff because of what he does. First of all, dude, if he were to be alive right now in front of me, I would like to ask him, what made you have a strong hatred of people of your own race and of your own skin color? That's what I would ask this dude, right? If he was alive in front of me, I would ask him, what made you have a strong hate of people of brown people, and if they speak Spanish, or just because they look different? And it's funny how, as I said, there's even other people who are of other descent, born here but of other country descent, yet they work for Border Patrol or ICE or whatever, and they're saying, they're doing the Patriots, just because they're arresting. And it's funny how, in terms of how they're arresting people and kidnapping people, the majority of them are all of Mexican, Guatemalan, and Salvadorian descent. Very rarely do you see, and also, Asian descent, yes, but very rarely do you see people of either European descent or who are just white don't get arrested from ICE. But the majority of them they arrest are people of Latino, Hispanic descent. And they're even arresting United States citizens, yet they say they're citizens. They don't give a fuck. They'll treat you like shit. And you can tell this guy, like the video, see how he treats people, especially that Walmart worker. And he says that how they're going to dismiss the case of when he died, of a drug overdose, and they found out he used cocaine at his folks' house, his parents' house. And as I said before, I try to feel bad for the guy. I want to feel bad for the guy, but I've seen of what he did in terms of making a living. No, I can't. He was a piece of shit. He is a piece of shit, and was and always will be a piece of shit because of how he treated people of Latino descent. And as like I said before, I would ask him, what made you have a strong hatred of people of your own race? And if he was a Border Patrol agent or an ICE agent, I would say, motherfucker, you're complaining of how people are hating on you. Motherfucker, you chose that route, not me. And there's an old saying, there are consequences for your actions, Isiah. And you were paid for that. And you died of a drug overdose. And the people were saying, there's even a post on Instagram saying that the Lord took our Isiah, and there were people saying, oh, he was a good person and all that stuff. And people were donating money for his GoFundMe, for his family. And it's funny that the majority of people who were donating were all of Latino Hispanic descent. I mean, it's their right. They can do whatever the fuck they want. But it just goes to show where they stand. And, I don't know. It just really bothers me of what this fucking administration is going on right now, of what's going on with they're kidnapping people, especially of hardworking people who are like, they have no criminal record. The only quote unquote crime for them is just being here without documentation. That's the only crime, and they treat it like if they're like less thans, And it sucks that's happening right now in this nation right now. But you know what though? Nothing is forever. Right now, Trump, that Kristi Noem, that Stephen Miller, they're all enjoying this shit right now because they are. But this is all going to end. But before I continue, I want to mention this. And people who especially like the people who are the MAGA supporters who are supporting or donating, who donated money to the funeral of this guy and they're saying he was a good person. I'll say this. This Isiah guy was no saint. He hurt a lot of people. He hurt a lot of people, especially with his actions, the way he behaved. And the people who shed tears for him should really, really think of who they're going to shed tears for. And if they're going to do that, okay, fuck them, They know that if they're going to shed tears for the guy, that means that they know everyone knows where they stand. So, but like I said before, in terms of this going on right now, nothing is forever. And I know for a fact that in 2026 there's going to be new elections, and they're going to, once the Democrats take over the House Representatives and the Senate, shit's just going to get real right now. And this is something right now. This was posted on social media. You can tell that this guy was an ex-police officer, but he's not showing his face. He also disguised his voice. So this is what he said right now. Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. One second, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Here it is.
This message is for anybody working for ICE that does not understand what qualified immunity means. When I was a police officer, I didn't have a full grasp of what that meant either. No shame, but you need to understand what it means. After all this dust has settled, what's going to happen is that civil rights attorneys are going to contact the individuals whose Fourth Amendment rights have been clearly violated. Those attorneys are going to argue that you should have known and that the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution was already firmly established, which it is. Just to recap, the Fourth Amendment guarantees citizens the right to be free from unreasonable search and seizure when that attorney successfully argues that you willfully disregarded the Fourth Amendment and you violated that person's civil rights, you are now absent of qualified immunity. What that means is you are going to be held personally liable. Your personal property forever is going to be subject to paying back the defendant whose home you broke into. You must understand this. ICE is going to hang you out to dry. They're not going to protect you when all of these thousands and thousands of attorneys come and show that it was you that was entering these houses. That means any paycheck you ever earn in the future is going to go to the victims whose Fourth Amendment you violated. Not only will you be held personally financially liable for the damages you incurred, you're also going to be named publicly in these cases, meaning you're never going to get a job anywhere ever again.
Y'all heard that, right? And like right now, all these dudes are acting all hotshot. They can do whatever the fuck they want, abuse of power, but they're violating a lot of rights to, especially these people. Now, no, there's no due process. What happened to that? You know, and once this shit settles, oh, it's gonna be a shitstorm against these motherfuckers right here. And would I have sympathy for them? No, I would not. Fuck them. They don't have sympathy for how they treat people, how they just grab them and treat them like shit. And they're gonna say, "Oh, I can't find a job." You know, hey, like I said before, in regards to this guy, they chose that route. You know, and like I said before, I would rather keep looking for a job, keep hunting for jobs, than to take this one right now, because I'm not a seller. You know, because my parent, my family, my mom and dad came to this country for a better life. And look where they are right now. We have a better life. I was born in this nation, and I believe that everyone has a right to come here for a better life. And the people who say no, they know just because of their legal status can fucking kiss my ass, you know. I don't like it. And these especially these white MAGAs. Okay, if they're saying that there's no jobs, okay, why don't you go do the fucking shit that they were doing? Go work in the vegetable field. Go paint a house. Go clean a house. Go do all this shit. Will you do it? And go work in the farm. Will you do it? No, because you're too fucking lazy, you know, because it's too much. Oh, it's hard work. And yet you expect all these people who are, you guys hate to go do their dirty job, do that dirty work. And they're hard workers, you know. They work in the vegetable fields. They work their ass. I've seen videos on them. And yet you hate them just because of what they represent, because of their legal status. Fuck off, you know. That's all I got to say about these guys, So in terms of Isiah Hodgson, oh well, like I said before, you chose that route, not me. I have a clear, and all these people, this guy, how he was complaining, you can tell he had a guilty conscience because of what he did. All these people who are even in courthouses trying to kidnap people, they know they're on the side of history, but that's why they cover the face, because they know that if they dox them, they're gonna get fucked over. I would not give a fuck if they get doxxed. You know? Yeah, so that about wraps up for this week's podcast, and I will see you next week. I will be working right now for doing a future interview with the new guests. So stick around. I will post it on Instagram. If you want to follow me, you can find me on Spotify for Creators, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and also find me on YouTube. Click the link and subscribe to my page. And once again, have a good night and happy Thanksgiving. And to everyone, safe travels. Love you all.